welcome to Faith Works Design. I'm Faith, and I wanted to take you through my next series of cloth diaper items. Now, I use cloth diapers with my little ones, and there were so many things that I wish that I had or known about at the time, and some of the things I knew about and I made myself to make my life a little easier. So over the next several weeks, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the items that I used and some of the items I wish that I had had. Today, we're going to be working on the wet bag. So let's get started. To get started on the wet bag, what we're going to need to do is get your materials. The first material is going to be your outside fabric, whatever it is you want to use. I normally use 100% cotton, and it's fine. The inside layer is what actually matters. But the outside, I've got Harry Potter here. And what I've done, what sometimes comes up, is you'll get a directional print, meaning Harry Potter goes across here. You have to be really careful when you're cutting out your fabric so that if you've got a print, if you mistakenly, say, cut the 13 inches this way, you're going to end up with your print being sideways. The second piece is 13 by 13. And then what you're also going to need is pull. If you've never heard of pull, it's used a lot with cloth diapers and making cloth diapers and wet bags and wet wipe pods and all of that stuff. It's really nice. It's a waterproof fabric that you can use. You can find it at Hobby Lobby and Cloth Diaper Sewing Supplies. I believe that's the one. They sell a lot of stuff like that there, and you can order it online if you have to. I'm sure you can probably get it from Etsy or somewhere like that. Then you're going to need your zipper. It's going to be at least 14 inches long. Alright, well the very first thing that you're going to do is grab your pull and make sure that it's the shiny side up, 13 inches going this way. The next thing that you're going to want to put in the sandwich is your zipper. Now, when I refer to the right side of the zipper, this is the side that I mean, the side with the pull. And the wrong side is the back side. And that way you guys will know when I say the right side to right side, back side to back side, that way you'll know what I'm talking about. So the right side of the zipper goes right on top of the pull, so that the right side of the zipper is facing you. Then you're going to grab your fabric, and the print is going to be facing you. So the direction you look at is the correct direction, not upside down. But make sure that it's going the right direction. Now we're going to put right side of the fabric to the right side of the zipper on top of the pull. The next thing you're going to do is you're not going to grab your pins. I know. We're going to have to do something a little different. Someone came out with these amazing clips, and I actually got them because I'm a quilter, but I use them all the time for my cloth diaper sewing stuff. Pull, you cannot put pins in them because that makes holes in the pull, and therefore it doesn't do what it's supposed to do because it's got holes in it. It's a waterproof fabric, so you want to keep all the water out. So you're just going to go through and clip on the top. And then once you've got that all clipped, what you're going to do is you're going to start sewing on this side right here of the zipper, the right side, and sew all the way down to the end. And then we're going to stop there. I'm going to take you to the sewing machine now and show you what I'm doing. Alright, now once you've gotten your zipper foot on, which hopefully you can see that, you're going to be sewing down this side of the zipper on the right side. Now I've already done that and had to redo it because my video quality was stinky. So I'm going to do it again so you can see me do it. Just make sure that it's on the right side, and here we go. Make sure you back stitch. When you start and stop, make sure that you are back stitching. Let's cut all of those threads. Okay, so it's done like that. Now I'm going to scoot you back. So hopefully you can see what I've done. Now you're going to flip it inside outwards so that it looks like that. That's going to be the front part of your bag. And so you can see Harry Potter is going to be facing in the right direction because we did it right the first time. Now, what you're going to do next is called a top stitch, we want to put a top stitch up here so one, it looks nice, and two, it holds the pull in the fabric down out of the way and doesn't get caught up in the zipper. So when you're sewing, make sure that you're holding your pull out of the way, because sometimes it can kind of want to sneak up on you and get underneath of your zipper, and then you could be sewing it down and it'll just be in the way of your zipper and you won't be able to get it undone. And trying to take stitches out of pull is a butt. So take a lesson from somebody who has already done that. Don't do it. Alright, now we're just going to sew this up for you. Make sure as you're sewing that you pull this on. You cannot use pins to keep this stuff out of your way. So you're going to have to just use your hands, go slow. Why are you acting goofy? Straighten it up underneath so that the pull is out of your way, and then straighten up the top. It'll look really nice on both sides. All right, now you can see the top stitching on the top and the inside, which looks really nice. Now we're ready to move to the second part of the cloth diaper wipe bag thing. I can word today. The wet wipe bag. Alright, now that we've got the front all done and sewed together, what you're going to do is you're going to grab your 13 by 13 piece of pull that you have left over, and you're going to put it down with the shiny side up. Then you're going to lay shiny side to shiny side together with your print facing you, and get them as close together as you can. Now, this is really important if you have a directional print. On this bag, if you notice on the top here, it looks like it's one piece of fabric because everything's facing the exact same way. And on the back, it's upside down. What I was concentrating on was just making sure that the front looked really nice together. So here is how we do that. What you're going to do is, this is the right way. We're going to turn this upside down. Okay? Take your fabric, turn it upside down, and then put right side to right side of the zipper. And then when you sew it and you turn it over, the fabric will all be facing the same way. So we're just going to clip all of this together. Okay, so I know zippers can be a little daunting, but we're going to be doing a lot of them in the next several videos, so we're going to have to get the courage up to just do it. Grab your zipper foot that came with your sewing machine, most likely you have it. Put it on either side. Mine can do either side. Right now I've got it to where I can sew down the right side of my zipper. And what you're going to do is just start a little bit, back stitch, and keep going. You see how that foot right there is keeping it on the right side of the zipper, so you're not accidentally sewing over your zipper. It acts like a nice little guide to keep your zipper going right where it's supposed to go. Always make sure you back stitch. And if you guys didn't know, right here there's a little thing that you can cut your thread with instead of constantly grabbing for your scissors. Alright, so just like we did with the top half, the back half we're going to have to do top stitching as well, which means get the pull out of the way, and we're just going to top stitch all of this. And I'm going to put my string underneath my foot so it doesn't get all jazzy snazzy on me. Where did you go? Alright. Don't get sassy. Now, when you're just top stitching, you do not have to back stitch. It just makes it pretty. We're just making it pretty on the top. Alright, so I've sewed on the back half You remember we had it folded over, we sewed, you turn it over, and then you're going to top stitch it just like you did the front. And now you've got both sides looking like this. It looks really nice in the front and the back. And now what we're going to do is we're going to grab both of your top fabrics, your cotton fabric, and we're going to pin those together. Hopefully I'm in frame. We shall see. We're going to pin, clip, oh my gosh, clip. You can pin your cotton fabric, that's fine, it's no big deal. Alright, and then you're going to clip, not pin, your pull. And it should look just like that. You've got everything all clipped. So what you're going to do is you're going to sew your cotton ends together, and then you're going to sew your pull together. Alright, so now we're going to sew up the cotton together. Alright, now we are in a pandemic, and there has been a shortage of thread, so we are going to chain piece this together. And this is what quilters do when they're trying to save some thread. Instead of pulling all this out, cutting the string, and then putting this on and having new string on the end, we're just going to sew it right behind one another. Not sew them to each other, but it's right up behind it. And that will save you a ton of thread, by the way. So I'm sewing about 3 or 4 inches, and then I'm going to back stitch and forward stitch. Now, you need to leave a hole in the pull so that we can turn this inside out. So I've already back stitched, forward stitched a little bit. I'm going to go about 3 inches or so. It doesn't have to be exact. It's just enough for us to turn it inside outwards. And then we're going to sew a little bit, back stitch, and then sew a little bit more. And then you can just go ahead and sew right down to the end. See all that string that you have to pull out when you're doing stuff? I just saved you a bunch of string. It's called chain piecing, and it's pretty cool. And it saves me thread during a pandemic, so we're going to go with it. Alright, so you can see that there's going to be some strings here too. You just cut those off. And you're going to have your hole here so that when we go to turn it inside out, you have somewhere to put everything through. Now we're going to put this together. You have quite a little sandwich going on here. Let me see if I can move you guys without turning it off. And you can see everything. Yay! Alright, scooch you down a little bit. Okay, so here's the first thing we're going to do after the camera stops wobbling. You're going to look for, let's see, that's the 13-inch side. This is the 15-inch side. What we're going to do, okay, is we're going to lay it down like this. Your 13-inch piece is going to be facing you. So let's open it up again so you can see what I did. So your 13 is going to be here, 13 is going to be here. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your hands like this. I normally try and get like an 1.5 inches or so up. It doesn't have to be exact, and after you move it, you can actually just adjust it all you need to. And I lift it up and then lay it back down. And you can measure, you can guesstimate, that's about 2 inches. So I'm going to do it again just because I'm anal and I got problems. Okay, so you're going to get it about 1.5 inches, give or take. And you're going to lay it flat. Now what you're going to do is you're going to clip all the way down this side and all the way down this side so that it doesn't move, for one. And if you notice, you've got your zipper here. I put a clip on each side of this zipper. Now I'm going to go ahead and clip everything first, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to take the zipper and open it up till right about here so that we can actually get into our bag. Because if you sewed it like it was right now, you wouldn't be able to get the bag. The pull would still be right here. So you're going to have to open this up. And normally I would do it like halfway. Okay. And then you want to make sure that the zipper is nice and closed up. And then put your clip right there so the zipper can't move around. And then I'm going to clip the rest of this. And then essentially what you're going to do is you're going to sew down this side and you're going to sew down this side. What I like to do is I like to go ahead and sew over this a couple of times just so that I know that the zipper isn't going to go anywhere. Probably should be showing it to you like this now that I'm looking at my camera. So just make sure that your zipper pull is all the way back here somewhere, and then go ahead and clip both sides so that they can't move. Sew down this end, sew down this end. Alright, so you're going to start sewing on the side where the fabric is. If you try sewing with the pull side up, it's a butt to work with. So I always sew with the fabric looking at me. Pull that out, cut your strings. Now, if you notice, I did not go over that zipper a couple of times, so I'm going to go back and do that. On the next side, make sure that you do that. Sometimes I forget what I'm sewing over, and I just go to town. Now you can backstitch here. I like to just go over it like that. Make sure everything underneath is straight and where it's supposed to be. Now your bag is all sewed up. You've done both sides. Now if you need to, you can cut this end off and shorten it, and the same with the other end. If you're using a larger zipper, you can just cut it off. Some people do a very wide zigzag so that it doesn't come undone, but if you sew over it a couple of times, it's not going to move. I haven't had a problem with any of mine. So now that your zipper's open inside and here, we're going to reach through here and pull it inside outwards. But down here we've got to close this up. And so what you're going to do is you're going to get some clips and underfold it like that, and then just clip and then sew all the way across there. But now you're just going to sew it closed. Make sure you backstitch. Pull is a little tricky to sew through, especially on this side because it's kind of sticky. But you just keep pressing on. Alright. And then just cut your strings off and we'll turn it into. Alright, you're all done. You've got your seam here all finished. The rest of your side seams are all invisible. You can't see them at all, which is great. And then we're going to turn this inside outward. Make sure that you go through in all the corners. You can just push them out. And you have a nice wet bag for your little one. They hold about 3 to 4 cloth diapers. It just depends on if they're pocket diapers or AIOs or whatever, the all-in-ones. It just depends on the size of your diapers and what else you throw in there. If you put your reusable wet wipes in there, there's a decent amount of room in here. You can also use them at the beach. We've done them for a lot of stuff. Anything that you can think of that you need to keep your other stuff dry, this really helps. Well, all right, you made it through, and now you've got your cloth diaper wet bag. These are really great. We had 2 in diapers at the time when I started making them, and if we needed to go to church or somewhere else, it was really nice because it was big enough that it can hold 3 or 4 diapers in it relatively easily. If you wanted to go to the beach and you've got wet clothes, or if you wanted to go to a water park or somewhere like that, it's really nice. And just in general to have them, because you know kids are messy and they spill stuff, and you'd have somewhere to put their wet clothes so they're not mixing in with your other clothes in your diaper bag. They're really nice to have, and I would love to see your creations. Hopefully this pattern was easy, and if you liked it and you're thinking about making a wet bag, give the video a thumbs up. If you want to stick around and see the rest of the cloth diaper items that I have coming up, you could hit the subscribe button, you know, if you wanted to. No pressure. If you have any comments or questions, you can just put those down in the comment section and I'll get right to those. Thank you for joining Faith Works Design.